Hello, Pewter People. Scott Reynolds with another Pewter Pulse. Let's talk about the Bucs 2-0 start, shall we? And what does it mean for the rest of the season? Well, we'll get to that in a quick second, but enjoy this 2-0 start. Not a lot of people, especially in the national media, predicted that Tampa Bay would start the season 2-0. I think most national pundits probably had this team at 0-2, maybe 1-1, except for this guy. I had the Bucs 2-0 in my preseason predictions en route to a 9-8 season. But I also had the Bucs sliding into the bye week with a 2-2 record. But I reserved the right to change my mind, and I have. In my post-game column, my two-point conversion, I predicted the Bucs will be 3-1 heading into the bye week. Whether that third win comes at home against the Philadelphia Eagles on Monday Night Football or the next week at New Orleans remains to be seen, and I'll make those individual predictions later. But I feel pretty good about this start, and you should too, because historically, a 2-0 start, well, it's meant something to the Buccaneers. The last two seasons, well, the Buccaneers started off 2-0 and they actually won the NFC South. So maybe Tampa Bay is onto something here. A little bit of a formula. So let's take a look at historically what the Bucs have done with 2-0 starts. They are 6-3 in the 9 times that this franchise has begun the season with a pair of victories. And in most of those seasons, they have either won the division or they made the playoffs. Only 3 times has Tampa Bay failed to have a winning season after a hot 2-0 start. That came in 1980 with a 5-10-1 record, followed by a 5-11 record in 1992. And most recently, in 2018, the Buccaneers started off 2-0 and really captivated the NFL and the Tampa Bay area with a little Fitzmagic, if you remember. That's right. Ryan Fitzpatrick turned into Fitzmagic on opening day at New Orleans with a daring road win and had another back-to-back performance that was quite dazzling. And if you remember, that's where he took the podium after beating the Eagles, dressed in Deshaun Jackson's attire, and really became Fitzmagic in that post-game press conference. But the magic kind of fizzled after that. The third week of the season, on Monday Night Football, the Bucs played host to a team from the state of Pennsylvania, the Pittsburgh Steelers, where they lost. And that's when the magic faded away. Jameis Winston returned. The team went 5-11. I've kind of noticed some similarities between Baker Mayfield and Ryan Fitzpatrick. And let's hope that the magic continues to happen for Tampa Bay this year with Baker at the helm. I really like his improvisational ability, whether it's the shuffle pass, the sidearm throws, getting out of sacks like Houdini. We'll see if Baker Mayfield can keep the magic alive on Monday night as the Philadelphia Eagles come to town. Now, they only have 4 sacks this season, but they had 4 double-digit sackers last year. A couple of those guys aren't on the team anymore, but this is an Eagles team that got up the quarterback like nobody else last year, 70 sacks. So at any point in time, that Eagles pass rush can come to life, and the Bucs, of course, hope it's not going to happen on Monday night. And we'll see if Baker Mayfield continues to be magical. But one thing we do know about the Bucs 2-0 start is they're not going to the Super Bowl. That's right. The only 2 times the Bucs have made it to a Super Bowl and won, well, they started off 1-1. That's right. In 2002, the Bucs lost at home in overtime in John Gruden's first game to the New Orleans Saints. Well, the next time Tampa Bay was in the Super Bowl was 2020 when Tom Brady arrived at town. And again, the Buccaneers lost to the New Orleans Saints in week 1. So a pair of 1-1 starts ended up in the best possible outcome with the Super Bowl. But nobody thought the Bucs were going to the Super Bowl this year, right? Listen, I'm excited that this Buccaneer team has a lot of buzz surrounding it, and we should enjoy the build-up to Monday Night Football between a battle of 2 teams. The Eagles have beaten a pair of winless teams in New England, as well as Minnesota. The Buccaneers had an upset in week 1 at Minnesota and then trounced the Bears 27-17 on Sunday. Baker Mayfield continued to dazzle with 3 touchdowns in these first 2 games and only 1 sack and no turnovers. Can they do it again against the Eagles? Well, that remains to be seen. So a 2-0 start has been pretty favorable to the Buccaneers. And 5 out of the last 6 times it's happened, it's resulted in the playoffs. That one time, though, well, another team from Pennsylvania is coming to town, Philadelphia Eagles, on a Monday night game, just like the Steelers came to town in 2018 and sucked the magic right out of Ryan Fitzpatrick's right arm. So we'll see if Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers can keep the train rolling along and go to 3-0. Because at 3-0, well, I haven't done the research on that yet, folks, but I got to think it ends pretty well for Tampa Bay. Certainly better than the alternative, which would be an 0-2 start or a 1-1 start. So enjoy this 2-0 start. We'll see what happens on Monday night. Pewter People, I want you to follow Pewter Report TV. Subscribe to Pewter Report TV. That's our YouTube channel for more Pewter Pulse episodes and other great Bucs video content. That's the home of Matt Matera's Pewter Picks and Props, as well as the Pewter Report podcast. Make sure you're following us on social media, on X, Facebook, and Instagram at Pewter Report, as well as the mothership, pewterreport.com, for breaking news, injury reports, inside scoop, and game coverage. And I'll be back soon with another edition of the Pewter Pulse.